Hey guys, Kaushik here. Today I've got your LeetCode question where the question name is twosome. Yeah. So the question, let's try to understand the question. What does the question say? So if you observe over here, given an array of integer nums and an integer target. So there is a array, or let's say as you're solving it in Python, you can call it as a list of numbers. So there's a list which is filled with numbers, right? And we also have a target and that's an integer again, right? Return the indices of two numbers such that they add up to target. So we have to find two numbers in the array so that they sum up to target. For an example, let's say you take this particular list where it is 2, 7, 11 and 15 and the target is 9, isn't it? Right? So two numbers which should add up to 9. Yeah, it's very clearly visible over here. It is 7 and 2. So 7 plus 2 is 9, right? But they are not returning the number again. They are returning the index of the number, right? So 2 is an index 0 and 7 is an index 1. Let's further read the question, and you may assume that each input would have exactly one solution. So it says that you definitely have a solution and it will be only one solution. You're not going to have multiple numbers which will add up to the target, right? Okay, and you may not use the same element twice. And yep, so that's a very important point which is given over here. We are not supposed to use the same element twice. Let's try to understand what exactly it is. For example, you take 3, 2, 4, right? The target is 6. 3 plus 3 can be 6, isn't it? But they are specifically telling you that you are not supposed to use the same number twice. So 3 plus 3 is the same number, right? Yet, so 4 plus 2 is 6 and the target of, the index of 2 is 1 and the index of 4 is 2. So which is going to be 1, 2 will be the output. Simple, right? Cool. But look at this. The target is 6 again. And output is 0, 1 and it is 3 plus 3. You may wonder that just now we discussed that we are not supposed to take the same number, but how it is, it's 0 and 1. You're not supposed to take the 3 and the same 3 again, that is the 3 in the same index, right? Instead, this is the 3 and this is another 3 in index 1. We can take two different 3s, but we are not supposed to take 3 in the same index. Or I'll just put it in a very easy term. Your answer should not have same indices twice, like 0, 0, 1, 1, 3, 3, right? You're not supposed to have answers in your list should not be the same, right? Got the point? Yes, cool, right? So now let's try to understand how are we going to solve this. Okay, so in a simple note, if you're going to work on this, what we will do is we'll go for a brute force approach where I can take this number. We will consider the same list, right? Like this, right? That's how the input is there, isn't it? So brute force approach goes like this. You take a pointer, keep it in the first index. You take j and keep it in I plus 1. And you're going to find, in simple terms, you're going to find out all the possible pairs. So 7 plus 2 is 9, yes. So let us assume 7 plus 11, like, 18 is the target. In that case, what you do is you will check with 7 and 2. It's not the same. Again, 11 and 2. Again, 2 and 15. Right? And you will increment your I, your j again starts from I plus 1. You will compare these two numbers, again these two numbers, and again you will increment the value. So in simple terms, I can say that we are checking with all the possible pairs, 2, 7, and then you will check with 2, 11, right? And again you go with 2, 15, which nowhere it matches, isn't it? So I update my I to check with 7, right? And 11 again. Right, it matches at this point, and I'll come out and print this. So writing a code for this would not be a big deal. We'll just go with a for loop for I in the range, right? I'll just start my range like this for I in the range, and I'll start my I from 0 obviously and go till length of your nums, because that's the array name which is given in the in LeetCode platform. So I'll just take nums itself, right? You will take it as for I in the range of len of nums. You start over there. And again, your for loop starts for j in the range, but we just now saw that my j for loop doesn't start from 0. It starts from I plus 1, isn't it? So I plus 1, len of nums. But you need to observe one thing very clearly in the example itself, that I am not letting my I go till the last element. It is going till second last, because we stop at 11, 15. That's the last pair we check. So I'll not run it as length of nums. I'll make it as length of nums minus 1. Right? For I in the range of length of num minus 1, again for j in the range of I plus 1 to len of nums. Right? It is going to run till there, and please observe carefully. Every time, every iteration, I'm going to make sure that the sum value of I index element, j index element, it it is equal to target or not. If it is equal to target, I'll stop there only, isn't it? Right? So it goes like this, that nums of I plus nums of j equals to target, right? And when it is equal to target, you can simply return a list where you mention I and j, which is both the index, which will add up to target. A very simple 4-line program which will work in LeetCode, but the problem is time complexity, because we are using a nested for loop here. The time complexity goes as n into n, which is quadratic time complexity. But how can I reduce this time complexity? Yes, let's just try to optimize the same code. See, if you are going to work on reducing time complexity, you need to figure out a logic, right? So here I can perform hashing instead of doing a brute force approach, right? So how does hashing help me in getting the work? See, you need to understand one thing, that when I take my I value as 2, right, we definitely know 2 is not the answer. Why do you say 2 is not the answer? Because 18 minus 2 is 16. We don't have 16 in the array only, right? So 2 is not the answer. But what we do is, we take j and spend our iteration, spend our time in making sure that 2 is not the answer. But I know it very clearly 2 is not the answer in a very simple term by subtracting 2 from the target, right? So 18 minus 2 is 16. 16 is not there in the list, so definitely 2 is not the answer. I can simply move on, right? Fine, j. Now again I go for 18 minus 7, which is going to be 11. Do we have 11 in the list? Yes, and that's how the answer is done. So we can get this particular thing done by in big O of n by performing hashing. Let's try to understand how are we going to do this. We are going to use a dictionary for this. See, in general, once we find the element, we are supposed to return the index of it, right? So I will take a dictionary, right, and I'll make sure the elements of the list are going to be key and their respective index will be the value in my dictionary. For example, 2 will be the key, 0 will be the value. Again, 7 will be the key, right? I'll take 7 as my key, and your 1 will be your value. Again, 11 as key, index 2 is going to be value. Simple, you're getting it, right? And 15 as your key, and I'll take 3 as my value, because if I get 11, I'll just get 2 directly, right? That's the index. Now what I'm supposed to do is, I'll put an iterator variable there and I'll check, right? So 2, 18, subtract it, 18 minus 2, 16. Do we have 16 in the dictionary? Search time in dictionary is constant, right? So again, search is also not linear, it's constant in dictionary. So 16 is not there, so keep moving on. 7, 18 minus 7 is 11. Do we have 11? Yes, return the index of this, right? Coding, let's go for the coding part. I will first work on creating the dictionary. So let me create an empty dictionary. That's it. That's how you do for creating an empty dictionary. Run a loop for I in the range, right? We need to write as range, not for I in A directly, for I in nums directly, because we also want the indexes, right? Cool. So for I in the range of len of nums, what I'm supposed to do is create the dictionary. How are we going to create a dictionary? Is very simple, right? In the key, what are we going to keep is nums of I. Am I right? That is the element of the list will be the key, and what is going to be the value is the index. That's it, done. This will create the above mentioned dictionary like this. Once the dictionary is created, I'm going to run another for loop to make sure that I am calculating something which I require, that is I'll subtract 18 minus 2, right? So again, I'll go writing it as for I in the range of len of nums, isn't it? And I'll again start checking it. How I'm going to check it is if, right, target. So target is 18, isn't it? So target minus nums of I. Let us assume that my I is over here, that is at 2, right? So I'm just checking whether nums of I, the nums of 2 is nums of 2 is the element, right? Target is 18. 18 minus 2 is 16. I'm going to check whether this 16 is there in the dictionary. Nope, it is not there. So you keep moving on, isn't it? So let's go for next iteration where it is 7, right? Nums of I is 7. Fine. So target is 18. 18 minus 7 is nothing but 11. 11 in dictionary? Yes, we have 11 in the dictionary. And what are we supposed to return is well known, that we have to return in a list. I'll keep my I value along with the index of 11. And where is the index of 11? It is there in dictionary as a value, and the key is 11 itself. So I'll do like this, D of, right? I am just going to write again the same thing, that is target minus nums of I. I'll just copy it, I'll paste it here, and with this will give you 2, which is the value, right, of key 11. Simple. The work is good, right? So this should work perfectly in your LeetCode program. But wait, there is small catch in this. We did read the question very clearly, which says that you may not use the same element twice. What is the problem with this is, let us consider this particular input where your elements are 3, 2, 4 and the target is 6, right? In that case, I'll just make my sure, I'll just create my dictionary here, no big deal. What you do is 3 will be your key, 0 will be your value, 2 will be your key, 1 will be your value, 4 will be your key and 2 will be your value. Simple, right? And you're going to have your I over here, 3, isn't it? Now, I'll just subtract target minus nums of I. So target is 6, 6 minus 3 is 3. Do we have 3 in dictionary? Yes, we have 3 in dictionary. 3 is there in dictionary. And if the condition is true, you return I, which is 0, the index is 0. D of target minus nums of I, again it is 0. So you're returning 0, 0, which should not be done. They told very clearly, do not take the same number twice. In that case, I am going to also keep another condition here where I should not be equals to this D of target of nums of I, right? See, you do this, this will make sure that you are not going to take the same element again, right? Because 3 again, index is 0, here I is also 0 the index, means we are taking the same index. So this will fail, this condition fails and this condition fails. We are not going to take that particular index and we'll move on, right? We'll go to 2. Now again, target, which is 6 minus 2, which is 4. Do we have 4 in the dictionary? Yes. And the value is 2. And here the value is 1. And here you can observe this I not equal to 2. The condition is true, which is not equal. Thus, you return the right answer. So this will be your final code, which is going to clear all the possible test cases. Make sure or try to write the same code in your LeetCode platform so that you get used to how to use the LeetCode platform. I hope you understood how are we optimizing the code from brute force approach, which is big O of n into n to big O of n. So here we are using only one for loop at a time, which is big O of n for creating a dictionary, again big O of n, which in turn becomes in total big O of n itself, linear time complexity. See, try to focus more on optimization of code, for which you will require more logics. Follow for more such videos. Thanks for watching. Do like, share and subscribe. Bye bye. Take care.